Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. You've seen chatbots that talk, but today I'll show you a chatbot that actually does work behind the scenes thanks to something called MCP Server in n8n. By the end, you'll know exactly how the MCP Server and MCP Client nodes talk to each other, node by node, with a fun live demo. Let's jump in! Here's a plain HTML page that uses n8n's embedded chat feature. The widget is already pointed to my agent chat workflow. I'll ask, tell me a joke and schedule tea with mom tomorrow at 5 p.m. The assistant cracks a joke and confirms the calendar event. Everything you see is natural language understanding, tool selection, and a Google Calendar call that happened through MCP. Let's break that down. Here's my beautifully looking n8n canvas. We have three workflows. Agent chat is the main conversation handler. My functions is a small toolkit that knows how to tell jokes or convert text. Google Calendar is the workflow that connects to Google's API. Each toolkit exposes its abilities through an MCP server node. The agent chat workflow calls those abilities through the MCP client nodes. Inside Agent Chat, the MCP trigger acts as the public webhook that the chat widget calls. The AI agent node runs GPT-4o and decides which tool it needs for each request. Two MCP client nodes point to My Functions and Google Calendar, and the AI Agents Tools tab lists them automatically, so no hard coding is required. The My Functions workflow starts with an MCP trigger in server mode. Below that are simple code nodes that either tell a joke or change text to uppercase. When the agent calls tell a joke, this workflow runs, returns a JSON result, and ends. The Google Calendar workflow follows the same pattern. It begins with an MCP trigger and then uses calendar nodes to create, find, or update events. OAuth credentials stay inside this workflow, so your secrets are never exposed to the agent. This pattern is powerful because each toolkit is modular. You can replace Google Calendar with Outlook by swapping a single workflow. New tools are discovered automatically. You never edit the AI agent when you add a server. Security is straightforward as well. Enable bearer token on every MCP server and paste the token into its matching client to secure every call. From here, you could add a Redis node for long-term memory or expose a Notion MCP server so the agent can create pages. If you open the n8n executions panel during a chat, you'll see two separate runs, one tagged tell a joke and another tagged calendar create event. Their correlation IDs match, so you can trace an entire conversation end to end. Because everything runs over HTTP, you can keep expanding without touching the core agent workflow. Think for a moment about how this architecture translates to the real world. In customer support, the same agent could read a chat message, pull the customer's last 3 orders from Shopify, open a Zendesk ticket, and schedule a follow-up call in HubSpot. Each of those systems would live in its own MCP server workflow, and the AI agent would orchestrate them in real time. Inside HR, a recruiter could type, create an offer letter for Priya at 8 lakh CTC and book her onboarding session next Monday. And the agent would generate the document in Google Docs, send it for e-signature, and place the meeting on everyone's calendar, all without leaving the chat window. For finance teams, imagine an agent that listens in Slack, fetches the latest expense data from an ERP, runs a variance analysis in a Python MCP server, and replies with a neatly formatted report. Even personal productivity becomes interesting. You might ask, summarize my unread emails, add any flight itineraries to my calendar, and set a reminder to check in 24 hours before departure. And the agent would coordinate Gmail, calendar, and a reminder service automatically. These examples all share one pattern. Every external service is wrapped as its own MCP server. The AI agent chooses the right server at the right moment, and n8n handles the HTTP wiring and security for you. That flexibility is why this approach scales so well from hobby projects to serious enterprise workflows. You've now seen MCP servers and clients working together in n8n through an embedded chat demo, and you've heard how the same pattern applies to support desks, HR, finance, and personal productivity. I hope the node-by-node tour plus these real-world scenarios makes the potential crystal clear. If you found this useful, please subscribe and share it with anyone exploring AI-driven automation. Post your questions in the comments. I read everyone. Thanks for watching, and happy automating!